Something doesn't feel right. Slowly fluttering my eyes open, I instantly wince in pain, feeling the bright sunlight hit my eyes, causing me to feel a throbbing pain in my head. I slowly sit up, groaning as the pain in my head increases due to the alcohol from last night. I place my head in my hands. Oh fuck. I mutter to myself, slowly regretting my choice of the amount of drinks I had last night. I look at the time and widen my eyes slightly. 2:42 p.m. I slept for that long? I close my eyes, trying to remember what happened last night. Generally, I would wake up in another woman's bed covered in multiple hickeys. So basically, I felt relieved to be safe in my own home. But the flicker of a piercing brown cat-like eyes and light pink plump lips appears into my mind, causing the memories of last night to surface into my mind. Recalling my actions towards Jennie from last night causes my cheeks to heat up, slightly embarrassed and shocked by my boldness. Shit. I thought to myself, mentally face-palming myself, irritated by my drunken state. Slowly becoming aware of the silence in the house causes me to be removed from my thoughts. I furrow my eyebrows in confusion, wondering why the silence was so intense. Usually, at this time of day, I would hear Jisoo and Chai bickering over something unimportant with Jennie scolding them to shut up. I wince in pain as the pounding in my head increases, bringing me away from my confusing thoughts. Needing pain reliever, I groggily hop off my bed and begin to exit my bedroom. I enter the kitchen lazily, ignoring the presence of my roommates like I have been doing for these past 2 weeks. With the awful pain in my head, I haven't realized the silence of my roommates. I walk towards the cabinet and grab a glass and begun to add water in it. After grabbing the pain reliever, I begin to make my way out of the kitchen, but the sudden tension in the room and their burning gazes on my back causes me to stop in my place. I slowly turn my gaze at them to see them sitting at the kitchen table, staring sadly at me. I couldn't comprehend the meaning of their stares. Was it pity? I thought to myself. I clench my fist slightly, hoping that I was mistaken and that they weren't staring at me with the look of sympathy. I patiently continue to stare back at them, waiting for them to say anything to end this silence. After a few minutes of silence, I begin to grow even more confused and slightly irritated. Losing my patience, I roll my eyes. What did I do now? I lazily ask. My eyes suddenly widen at the sound of Chae-young sniffing sadly. I quickly avert my eyes towards her to see her quickly and silently wiping a tear away. I feel my heart beat nervously. Oh God, it can't be. I nervously think to myself, feeling my knees begin to tremble slightly. What? I nervously ask, hoping and praying that it wasn't what I think it is. I gulp when Jisoo suddenly closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. Why didn't you tell us? She calmly asks. I glance at her hands to see them clenched. Please, no. What do you mean? I nervously stutter out, fear taking over my body. Jisoo opens her eyes and silently turns her gaze to Jennie. I slowly follow her gaze and instantly feel my heart drop. Jennie was holding my phone in her hands, avoiding my eyes. No. A flicker of last night appears in my head, reminding me that I was completely drunk and forgot to grab my phone on the floor in the hallway. What made the situation worse was that it was alone with Jennie. I completely forgot to grab my phone. I mentally facepalm my face, feeling anger towards my drunk, forgetful self. Irritation towards myself increases as I begin to realize the situation could have been avoided if I paced myself with the alcohol I consumed last night. No, I instantly feel my breathing become heavier. This can't be happening. I whisper to myself. I feel my vision slowly becoming blurry, due to my tears that were forcing its way out of my eyes. My heart was pounding wildly against my chest that it felt like it was going to burst in any minute. Feeling slightly dizzy, I clench my eyes tight, wishing that I can disappear from this cruel reality, away from these worried eyes of my band members. Your mom called and told us everything. Why didn't you tell us? Jisoo asks. I open my eyes to see her staring sadly at me. I begin to scan all their faces and grit my teeth in anger. Stop it, don't look at me like that. Feeling my knees weaken slightly, I begin to stumble back. I lean against the counter behind me, trying to steady my trembling body. I quickly lift my gaze up, seeing all of them rushing towards me. I lift my hand up, motioning for them to stop. Don't. I lower my head and cringe at the sound of my weak voice. They instantly stop moving and sigh sadly, desperately wanting to heal my broken state, but how can they if I continue to push them away? With my anger increasing, my mind suddenly becomes blank, removing any civil thoughts. With my eyes staring blankly at the floor, I begin to whisper. You had no right. They furrow their eyebrows in confusion, not being able to hear what I said. Chai, afraid for my well-being, gently asks. What, Lise? With all the awful memories, with all the pain I have been feeling, I finally snapped. I instantly lift my gaze up towards them, full of anger. It was gradually clouding my judgment. I grit my teeth, not bothering to wipe the tears that have fallen on my cheeks, and begin to repeat my words sharply. You had no right. No fucking right. I spit out angrily, causing them to flinch and back away from me slightly, shocked by my outburst. I have never raised my voice at them, but I did not care. I was hurt, angry, scared, sad and confused. I was completely broken. I quickly turned my gaze to my phone that was being held by a nervous Jennie. I immediately pushed myself off the counter and angrily marched towards Jennie. All I could see was red as I swiftly snatched my phone out of her hand, fuming in anger and hatred. I told you to mind your own fucking business. Jennie suddenly grows angry and hurt by my harsh tone, eyes slightly teary. How can I when you're clearly hurting? I scoff. Stop acting like you care. I do care. I quickly shake my head. No, you don't. At this point, everyone was deeply crying. Jisoo was holding a sobbing Chaeyoung while tears were also cascading down her own cheeks. Jennie closes her eyes and angrily wipes her own tears, trying to compose herself. Not being able to handle the brutal pain in my chest, I grab my glass of water and, out of frustration, I harshly throw it against the wall. The glass shattering against the wall causes all of them to flinch at the awful sound. Jennie takes in a deep shaky breath and opens her eyes, staring sadly at me. She softly says, I do care about you, Lise. I quickly shake my head again and begin to choke back a sob that was desperately trying to escape. I couldn't show my weakness, no, I forbid it. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't have shut me out of your life for no fucking reason. Out of everyone, I never knew it would be you to hurt me this much. But you pushed me away. A sob suddenly escapes from my mouth. I grab my chest, feeling myself hyperventilating. I desperately wanted this awful pain to erase from my life. I felt like I was suffocating, nothing was going right. I continued. You stopped being there for me. I was alone. I can't go a day without having my heart broken from the pain you have been causing me and the pain of not seeing my dad. It hurts so much that I feel like I'm suffocating. I begin to clench my eyes tight and begin to repeatedly hit my chest, wanting the pain to just go away. Jennie raises her hand to her mouth, covering her sobs. My broken state instantly broke her heart. Everything hurts. Why, Jennie? What did I do for you to hate me this much? I cry out. Jennie instantly wraps her arms around my trembling figure. She tightens her grip as I begin to struggle to push her away from me. Let go. Let go of me. I feel her furiously shake her head no, refusing to let me go. I'm here, I'm here. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm here. She whispers. I continued to struggle, but after a while, the feeling of Jennie's warmth and love that was radiating off her body caused my body to softly soften. Her soft touches that I've craved for was always my weakness. This feeling she was giving me gave my heart this light feeling. It was as if the light was finally getting rid of the darkness inside me. So, with trembling hands, I slowly and hesitantly wrap my arms around Jennie's waist, causing her to sigh in relief and tighten her arms around me. Without letting go, we both slowly fall on our knees, crying loudly. We refused to let each other go. It was as if we were afraid that if we did, the fire in our hearts would go out, leaving us cold and empty. With my voice breaking from my cries, I whisper. I'm scared, I'm so scared, Jennie. Jennie slowly pulls away and gazes into my eyes. She gently places her hands on my face, and as soon as my gaze meets hers, her eyes suddenly soften. I feel my heart melt. I haven't seen the softness in her eyes in a long time and I truly missed it. I know you are, but we will get through this, okay? We're here for you, Lisa. She lowers my head and places her soft lips on my forehead, causing my breath to hitch at the warm contact. She pulls away softly and gazes back into my eyes. I'm here for you. I feel my heart melt at her genuine words. She immediately pulls us up and brings me to the couch. She sits us both down and makes me lean into her body. I feel my body weaken as she begins to caress my hair and starts to hum a sweet melody, trying to soothe my trembling body and ease my racing mind. My eyes begin to slowly close as exhaustion suddenly hits me. The last thing I hear before I completely drift off to sleep was Jennie whispering in my ear lovingly. I'm here. After hours of sleeping, I slowly begin to feel myself waking up. I open my eyes, noticing I was lying down on the couch. I furrow my eyebrows in confusion, feeling something moving on my chest. I look down and gasp. Or someone. My heart begins to pound loudly against my chest at the sight of Jennie's sleeping figure, cuddling into my body, smiling slightly. I feel my cheeks heat up at the cuteness of her sleeping face. She then scrunches her eyebrows and mutters, half asleep. Lily, your heart's too loud. Shh. I feel my cheeks redden even more out of embarrassment. I shift slightly under her and whisper. Jen. And with that, Jennie suddenly opens her eyes and lifts up her head from my chest, causing our faces to be inches apart. Her strawberry scent invaded my nose, causing my heart to flutter. Jennie slowly scans my features but stops as she gazes at my lips. With parted lips, I unconsciously begin to lick my now dry lips. Jennie's eyes begin to darken with lust at my action, causing me to gulp nervously. We were soon removed from our trance at the sound of an obnoxious snicker from the other side of the room. We quickly turn our heads towards the sound to see Jisoo and Chaeyoung smirking at our position. Oh. Sorry, were we interrupting? Jisoo sarcastically. I internally growl in frustration, wanting to slap the smug look off of Jisoo's face for ruining a Jenlisa moment. We both instantly blush. Jennie quickly gets off of my body and begins to add space between us on the couch. Jennie nervously puts a strand of hair behind her ear and nervously clears her throat. I sit up straight and begin to clear my throat, feeling slightly awkward. Feeling my racing heart slowly calming down, I begin to sigh. I look down and clasp my hands together, trying to stop them from trembling. So, I guess I have some explaining to do, huh? I nervously chuckle, wanting to lighten up the mood. I then feel a soft hand on my shaky hands. I look up to see Jennie gazing at me with a reassuring smile and softly squeezes my hand. Eyes okay, Lisa, you don't have to explain if you're not ready. I feel my heart melt at her words. I shake my head. No, I'm okay, I'm ready. And for the first time in a while, I truly felt like I was indeed okay. Are you fucking kidding me? I flinch at the sound of Jennie's angry tone. I had just finished explaining everything to them, not leaving any details out. I let out a breath that I didn't know I was holding, feeling somewhat at ease. I didn't know that having all these pent-up emotions would cause me to spiral out of control. It was as if the weight has finally been removed from my shoulders and I felt better. Calm down, Jennie. Jisoo carefully tries to soothe the angry kitten, aka Jennie. Jennie abruptly stands up, fuming with anger. No. Why does he have to be such an asshole? I try to suppress a smile, seeing her pace around the living room, muttering angrily to herself. I know this is supposed to be a serious moment, but I just can't help but feel happy that everything is slowly going back to normal, well, besides the fact that I'm still completely and utterly in love with her. They weren't mad at me, they were mad for me, and I'm really grateful for them. Jennie quickly turns to us. He has no right. I can just kill him. We have to do something. I bite the inside of my cheek, trying to stifle a laugh. Angry Jennie is a cute Jennie. I thought to myself. Jisoo sighs dramatically. I know we do, but first we have to calm down and think this through, Jisoo calmly says. Slowly getting irritated by Jennie's rapid movements. She couldn't think straight with Jennie pacing around the room like that. Hell, I couldn't even think straight. Jennie ignores Jisoo and continues to rant angrily. Who does he think he is? The king of Pichu Machu? Chai smiles slightly and replies. It's Machu Picchu, Jen. With blushing cheeks, Jennie rolls her eyes and throws her arms in the air. Same difference. Jennie dramatically replies, causing us to slightly chuckle at her angry state. Failing to console the crazy Jennie, Jisoo sighs deeply and quickly looks at me with pleading eyes and mouths. Help me. I furrow my eyebrows and mouth back. Why me? She rolls her eyes and motions me to do it. I groan slightly, knowing I have to obey the uni and begin to walk towards the fuming kitten. Jen, it's okay. I gently say while softly grabbing her arm and making her face me. She furiously shakes her head and pushed my hand off her arm. No, it's not. You don't deserve this. Lisa. You've been through so much by yourself. I feel my heart ache seeing her eyes becoming teary. None of this would have happened if I was there for you. If I wasn't such a bitch to you, you wouldn't have forced yourself to go through this alone. It's all my fault, I'm so sorry. I quickly grab her face and force her to look me in the eyes. Don't you dare blame yourself, it was my choice to keep this from you girls. Sure. Yeah. I was hurt that you were avoiding me, but I'm okay, now knowing that you're here with me, okay? So stop crying. I forgive you. I softly say. I gently wipe a tear from her face that suddenly escaped her cat-like eyes. I continue. So stop blaming yourself, okay? I turn my gaze to Jisoo and Chai. Same goes for the both of you, I don't want to see or hear you guys blaming yourself, okay? I scold, causing them to slightly chuckle and nod. I turn my gaze back Jennie. Okay? I ask, she hesitates but slowly nods. I smile wide and lean in to kiss her cheeks repeatedly, causing her to laugh and groan in annoyance. Lily, stop. My heart swells, just hearing her call me the nickname only she can call me. She refused to let the others call me that cause I was her Lily, and I didn't mind because she was my Nini. She playfully pushes me away and covers her blushing cheeks with her hands. I feel my smile grow wider. Aw, is my Nini blushing? She turns around quickly, hiding her face. No. She cutely says. I chuckle and wrap my arms around her waist from behind. I feel her gasp and slowly soften in my embrace. I rest my chin on her shoulder and whisper. I missed you. I turn my gaze slightly to her face and begin to feel my heart race at the sight of her gummy smile. I feel my cheeks begin to heat up as she turns her face towards mine, not minding the close proximity. I gulp nervously, feeling her warm, minty breath hit my lips as she whispers back. I missed you too. Her breath hitches as my eyes flicker to her parted lips. Gaze back into her eyes to see her gazing into my lips. Before I can do anything else, the sound of Jisoo obnoxiously clearing her throat catches our attention. We both quickly turn our heads to them and blush deeply. Not trying to ruin your moment or anything, but I think we should start planning, no? Jisoo says, smirking. Chai snickers lightly at our red faces. I groan in embarrassment and place my head in the crook of Jennie's neck, trying to hide my blushing face. I feel Jennie place her soft hands on top of my hands, causing my heart to beat wildly against my chest. She giggles. Come on Lily, we have to plan. I groan and lift up head. Fine ee. I drag out the word, nodding my head. But, without letting go, I begin to pull her backwards with me towards the couch. She squeals slightly but laughs at my actions. I smile, realizing she wasn't trying to get out of my embrace. I flop the both of us on the couch, with her sitting on my lap. I turn my gaze at her face after hearing her gasp in surprise and begin to smirk slightly, seeing her blushing features. Jisoo rolls her eyes and groans in annoyance. Ugh. You guys are too corny. I chuckle and tighten my arms around Jennie's waist. Jennie smiles softly and leans her back against my chest comfortably. The feeling felt right. Chai then giggles. I don't know, I think they're cute. Hearing that causes me to stick my tongue out towards Jisoo, causing her to gasp dramatically and stare at Chai in disbelief. You're supposed to be on my side. Chai rolls her eyes. Oh, shut up. You threw away my mangoes. Jisoo throws her arms in the air fiercely. Mangoes are disgusting. I'm doing you a favor. Chai gasps and stares at Jisoo horrified. So it was you. Jisoo gulps. Shit. Before the angry chipmunk can continue, I clear my throat, grabbing their attention. Aren't we supposed to be planning? I playfully say, smirking at their angry faces. Chai points at Jisoo. We're not done. Jisoo pouts sadly and sighs in defeat, causing Jennie and I to laugh at their glum faces. They smile widely hearing the sound of my laughter. I haven't felt this happy and bright in a long time. I begin to stare at all their faces and begin to feel the light in my heart burn bright, completely destroying anything dark inside me. I truly missed these girls. Are you ready? Jennie gently asks me. We were standing in front of YG's office and I was slightly terrified. I don't think I will be able to handle him rejecting my desire to visit my dad again. I feel my palms become sweaty and my breath become heavier. I felt as if I was going to have another panic attack. I clench my eyes tight, fear taking over my body, causing it to tremble slightly. What if he says no? What if dad doesn't make it and I wasn't there to say goodbye? What if dash? I was soon cut off from my thoughts of what ifs when I felt a soft hand grab my hand and intertwine them. I open my eyes to see Jennie giving me a reassuring smile. She squeezes my hand. You can do this, she softly says. I turn my head around, feeling a hand on my shoulder, seeing Jisoo and Chai smiling brightly at me. Fighting, Chai says. I chuckle lightly and nod. I face the door again and begin to take in a deep shaky breath. Here we go, I whisper to myself. I grab the door handle and slowly enter the office of YG. He lifts up his head and furrows his eyebrows in confusion seeing all of us enter his office. He turns his gaze at me and I gulp, seeing his eyes harden. He stands up. If this is what I think it is, Lisa, then I don't want to hear it. I quickly let go of Jennie's hand and swiftly walk in front of his desk. Sir, please, if you would just list dash. He cuts me off. I said no, Lisa, now please leave. Before I can say anything, Jennie angrily cuts me off. No. You will listen to what she has to say. He groans in annoyance. You girls don't understand. Jennie cuts him off again. No, you don't understand. Her father is ill and you don't even care. Do you know how much she has cried? Gosh. You're acting like a complete as dash. Jisoo immediately cuts her off. What she is trying to say is. She narrows her eyes at Jennie, silencing her. Jennie huffs and looks away. Jisoo then turns her gaze back to YG and continues. Sir, her father almost died and the fact that you're not giving her permission to go is completely wrong. This is clearly a family emergency, so I don't understand why she isn't allowed to see him. YG, slightly stunned, remains silent. Chae-young then cuts in angrily. And the fact that you even threatened to kick her out of the band is stupid. All she wants is to see her dad, so why can't you just give her permission? And you would ruin all of our careers over something like this? What the foo dash? Jisoo cuts in again. What we are trying to say is that, it doesn't matter if you don't give permission to Lisa because that's not going to stop us from going. Either way. We will go and see her dad and you don't have the right to stop us. Lisa is our family and we sure as hell won't hesitate to help family. And you know. What? Fine, go ahead and end our careers. I feel my heart drop and my eyes widen at her statement. I furiously shake my head. Jisoo don dash. She lifts her hand up, motioning me to stop talking. No, Lisa, what he is doing isn't right. So, yeah, Go ahead and end our careers because, quite frankly sir, I don't think I want to work under a cruel, brutal person. She crosses her arms and stares at YG with a blank expression. YG stares back, and for a moment, the room was completely silent. My heart was pounding loudly against my chest. That I was so sure that you could hear it. YG suddenly sighs in defeat and flops down on the chair. Fine. He firmly says. I gasp. What? He sighs and looks at me. I said fine. I will buy your ticket tonight. You will leave tomorrow night. He firmly states. I feel my eyes become teary, but before I can say anything else, I'm going with her. I tense and begin to feel my heart beat wildly against my chest as I turn my gaze to a determined Jennie. What? She had her arms crossed and she was narrowing her eyes at YG. He sighs again, but tired and knowing he was going to lose against the one and only Jennie Kim, he nods. Fine. But only you can go. No one else. Jisoo and Chai sigh sadly but nod, knowing that it is better than nothing. I smile wide. Thank you so much sir. He doesn't say anything, just simply nods. Jisoo then smugly asks. Aren't you going to apologize? If she was trying to lighten up the mood, she was clearly failing. YG shoots his head up and glares at the now frightened Jisoo. Don't push it. We all gulp and with that we bow and exit the office, quickly. Leaving YG to mutter angrily to himself. Shocked that he lost to BLACKPINK. We exit quietly, still in complete disbelief of what just happened. But the sound of the door closing causes us to be removed from our trance. We all look at each other and begin to squeal like little schoolgirls, in excitement. We embrace each other into a group hug and begin to jump, laughing hysterically. They all suddenly stop when they notice tears running down my face. They rush towards me quickly. Are you okay? Chai worriedly asks. Why are you crying? Jisoo asks. What's wrong, Lisa? Jennie asks. I begin to smile seeing their worried faces. I wipe my tears and laugh slightly. I'm just happy. They smile wide and pull me into their embrace. I really was blessed to have them in my life. I pull away and sniff lightly. I love you girls. Tears started running down their faces at my words. They pull me back instantly, causing me to laugh at their cuteness. Thank you for being here with me. I'm no longer alone. Usually, once I step into our home I would have this awful miserable feeling in my chest that would make me hesitate to even enter, but now, sitting here in the car with girls, laughing so hard that it became too hard to breathe and be still gave me a feeling of happiness and excitement to go home and spend the rest of the night with them. I wipe a tear off my cheek and giggle. I still can't believe that the holy chipmunk almost went off on the mighty YG. Chai blushes in embarrassment and kicks the back of my chair playfully. Shut up. He was being a real jerk. We all erupt in a fit of laughter, remembering her squishy cheeks puffing out in anger. It was absolutely adorable. It's hard taking an angry chipmunk seriously. Chai shakes her and chuckles. It wasn't just me though. Jennie Uni was about to call him an asshole. I turn to my side and begin to laugh at the sight of Jennie smirking, as if she was somewhat proud of her actions. Yup. And I regret nothing. She says. I stare at her side view, smiling softly. I haven't seen this side of Jennie in a long time and I was loving it. Sassy Jennie is a sexy Jennie. Feeling my stares, she turns to me and smiles brightly at me, causing my perverted thoughts to disappear instantly. I look away shyly, feeling my heart race at her brightness. I feel my cheeks heat up at my unholy thoughts before, feeling embarrassed. I begin to blush even more at the sound of all their teasing laughters. From the front seat, Jisoo reaches over and pinches my cheeks tightly, causing me to wince in pain.
Aww.
Look who's blushing now. She teases. I slap her hands away and begin to rub my cheeks, trying to ease the pain. Yeah. I yell out, causing her to laugh even louder. I quickly glance at Jennie and see her looking down, smiling softly to herself. I smile wildly at the sight. Cute. But I was soon distracted from my thoughts when I begin to feel a pair of eyes on me. I quickly look up and see our manager smirking knowingly towards me through the rearview mirror, causing my cheeks to redden slightly. He teasingly sends me a wink, causing me to instantly kick the back of his chair. My action catches Jisu's attention, making her turn her head to face me. She quickly laughs at my embarrassed features. Yeah. Why are you blushing again? I look away from them right away, covering my cheeks with my hands. Aish, shut up. I mumble out, causing everyone to, once again, laugh at my blushing cheeks. The van was filled with laughter, happiness and love. And I refuse to forget these wonderful moments. Arriving back home, Jennie and I went straight to our bedrooms to pack, and the first time in a long time my door wasn't locked. It was left wide open to welcome the sound of anything that is light and pleasant. I smile wide as my heart begins to swell in happiness. I was enjoying the sound of the bickering duo. They were arguing over the mangoes again. They were my mangoes. Mine. Chai yells, causing Jisu to groan in annoyance. I'm saving your life. Chai gasps in disbelief. Trust me, it's not gonna be my life. That's gonna need saving. Chai threatens. I shake my head, laughing softly at their crazy antics. As I was packing, my mind begins to drift off to a certain brunette with piercing cat eyes. She was so determined to come to Thailand with me, I wonder why. The thought of us being alone together in Thailand causes my heart to beat nervously. It won't be like our last Thailand trip where there was no hidden feelings. It was just two best friends enjoying vacation together, having little to no worries at all. But, like I said before, things have changed, feelings have changed. Was I excited? Yes. Was I absolutely and utterly scared? Without a doubt. Alone for a week? Can you actually do this, Lisa? Can you actually control your feelings, knowing that it'll just be you and her? I ask myself. I quickly shake off the dirty thoughts that were trying to enter my mind, blushing slightly. But the main question that keeps repeating in my mind is, why? Why did she want to go to Thailand with me? She was so determined. Feeling strongly curious, I begin to pause on my packing and begin to walk towards Jennie's door, needing ANS airs. I stand in front of her door, feeling slightly terrified. I wasn't terrified of her answer. I was terrified that I would see her cold eyes again. Things may be normal, but I can't help but have that fear of her shutting me out again. I take in a deep breath and force myself to lightly knock on her door. I sigh in relief, hearing a faint coming from the other side of the door. Slowly opening her door, I peek my head in to see her back facing me. Hearing her door open, she turns her head towards me and stops folding her clothes. I feel my world go bright as she begins to smile. Seeing her gummy smile never fails to make my heart skip a beat. It made me feel as if there was nobody else in this world but me and my Nini. I feel my heart melt as she begins to speak, removing me from my trance. Hi. I feel myself begin to gently smile back. Hi. I see a light pink tinge begin to grow on her cheeks by my intense gaze. She clears her throat and shyly turns away and continues to fold her clothes. I smirk slightly as she begins to stutter nervously. So? What's up? I chuckle and shrug. I enter her room completely and close her door. I lean against the closed door and nonchalantly reply. Nothing, I just wanted to ask a question. Jennie quickly glances back at me and then turns back to her clothes and continues to fold them. Oh. I nod and walk over to her and begin to help fold her clothes, causing her to smile softly at my kindness. I glance at her and smile back. Yup, I'm just a little curious. She furrows her eyebrows but motions for me to continue. I take in a deep breath, feeling slightly nervous all of a sudden. Why did you want to come with me to Thailand? She suddenly freezes, seeming to be speechless, not knowing how to reply. It was as if she didn't know why herself. She stops folding her clothes, deep in thought. I remain silent, patiently waiting for her answer, no longer feeling fear, just the feeling of curiosity. She begins to sigh and turns her head, meeting my gaze. I honestly don't know, I just felt like I had to be with you. With those words, I feel my heart begin to beat faster and my breath becomes slightly heavier. She doesn't know how much her words affect me. Every kind words causes my feelings to grow even more than I could ever imagine. I smile wide. Well, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm happy that you're coming with me, Nini. I genuinely say. My honest words causes Jenny to slowly smile at me, happiness radiating off her body. But my smile soon falters at the memory of the sound of disgust in her voice as she was speaking about our fan shipping. Her cold eyes still burned in the back of my mind. Does she still feel uncomfortable being around me? I internally cringe, feeling the slight ache return in my chest. I had so many questions to ask her, but I was terrified of her answers. Jenny's smile soon falters, seeing a slight frown that was on my face, she furrows her eyes in confusion. Was that all you wanted to ask me? She softly asks as she begins to stare at me knowingly, as if telling me that it's okay, and that she knows my question. But before I can say anything else, a loud squeal brings us back to reality. Help me. Jisoo slams open the door, causing Jenny and I to flinch at the loud sound of the door hitting the wall very strongly. Jenny gasps, seeing a dent in her wall. Uni, my wall. Ignoring the scowling Jenny, Jisoo runs towards us and instantly runs behind me, trying to hide from the very angry chipmunk. Jenny and I begin to laugh, seeing Chai following behind holding a piece of mango. Eat it. Chaang yells, marching angrily towards a frightened Jisoo. Jisoo squeals and quickly hides her face on my back. Where do you keep all these mangoes? Jisoo asks. Chai huffs in annoyance. Don't worry about it and just eat the damn mango. Never. Jisoo replies, terrified. Jenny and I glance at each other and begin to laugh hysterically. I'm definitely going to miss these girls. I'm gonna miss you girls. Chaang says, sniffing sadly while squeezing the life out of Jenny and I. I chuckle slightly. It's only going to be a week, chipmunk. I try to reassure her while trying to pry her arms off my body. For someone as skinny as her, she sure is crazy strong. Chai pulls away and begins to pout cutely. Jenny laughs and nods. Don't worry, we'll bring lots of gifts and food back, okay? We laugh as Chai nods furiously, excited for the food, I'm guessing. Jisoo then shoves Chai to the side and quickly and aggressively pulls Jenny and I into a tight embrace, causing us to yelp in surprise. She sighed dramatically. I'm going to miss your stupid face, Pokpak, and I'm going to miss your scolding, Jenduk. She begins to laugh at the sound of Jenny and I groaning in annoyance. She pulls away and smiles brightly at us. She turns towards me and grabs my hand. I know things are hard right now, but I'm serious, Lisa, we are here for you, okay? I smile brightly at her. Thank you, Uni, it really means a lot. She smiles and pulls me into a hug, but before we pull apart she tightens her grip around my shoulders and whisper into my ear. Don't hold back, and do everything I would do. I pull away confused but begin to feel my cheeks heat up at her evil smirk. I punch her arm playfully as she gives me a perverted wink. I turn around and sigh in relief, seeing that Jenny and Chai having a conversation. Thank God they didn't hear this perverted woman. I thought to myself. Narrow my eyes at Jisoo and she begin to laugh. Your secret's safe with me, Lise. I groan in annoyance, but begin to furrow my eyebrows. But, how did you know? She grins. I'm the Uni, I know everything and trust me, Lisa, do not hold back. She says seriously. I gulp nervously and begin to slowly nod my head. Her eyes flicker behind me and she suddenly smirks. You won't regret it, Lise. I follow her gaze to see Jenny staring at me with a look that I couldn't describe. Was it fondness? As soon as our eyes meet, she quickly turns away. I smile, seeing her cheeks begin to slightly redden. Keeping my smile on my face and without removing my gaze from the blushing kitten, I begin to say. I know I won't. I was soon removed from my trance with the sound of Jisu's snicker. Whipped. I feel myself begin to blush, I shove her playfully. Shut up. Jisu laughs and grabs my arm, dragging me to Chaeyoung and Jennie. Jisu rolls her eyes as tears were falling from Chaeyoung's eyes. She was hugging Jennie so tight that Jennie was silently begging for us to help. Stop crying, you big baby, it's only going to be a week. Jisu says while trying to pry Che's arms off of Jennie's tiny figure. Chia groans as she was removed from Jennie and begins to pout. But a week is too long. She whines. Jisu rolls her eyes and pulls her away from us. You're going to make them late for their flight. Before Chaeyoung can fire back, the voice of our manager quickly grabs all of our attention. Are you girls ready to go? Jennie and I nod and quickly grab our bags. I turn around and begin to chuckle seeing Jisu's teary eyes. Be safe, okay? And let us know if anything changes with your dad. Jisu says. Chai then snickers. Who's the baby now? Jisu looks away, blushing in embarrassment and mutters. Shut up. Causing all of us to laugh. Jennie and I begin to walk towards the van, but before we go in, we turn towards the crying duo, giggling slightly. I love you girls. I yell out. We'll call you when we land safely, Jennie reassures. We chuckle as Jisu and Chaeyoung begin to silently and sadly nod. I turn my gaze to Jennie and begin to smile brightly. You ready? I ask. She turns to me and smiles back. I'm ready. This is going to be an interesting week. Jisu's POV. As Chai and I watch the car drive off, I begin to smirk. They're so gonna bang, Chai chuckles. Anne nods. Yup. Will you girls be alright by yourselves? Manager Appa asks, feeling slightly nervous for leaving us alone. We just arrived at the airport and finished with the security check. I smile gratefully towards him. Yes, Appa, we'll be fine. He sighs but nods. It'll be the first time in a long time being away from all the managers, and I'm feeling quite excited for that. It's been a while since we were allowed to roam around freely. And being able to roam around my hometown with Jennie by my side will be like a dream for me. We bow towards each other.
Bye.
Appa. Let the girls know we will be okay. Jennie says as he was making his way out of the airport. He smiles and nods. Will do. Behave, girls. Especially you, Lisa, he smirks and winks, causing me to gasp in surprise. Appa. He laughs as I begin to blush. I flicker my gaze to Jennie, wishing we weren't wearing our masks, so I can be able to see her reaction. I groan in annoyance towards our manager, causing him to chuckle. All right.
Bye.
Girls. We wave.
Bye.
And begin to make our way to the gate of our flight. Our flight doesn't leave in another hour, leaving us to our own devices. Hey, I'm going to buy some snacks for the flight, want anything? Jennie asks. I shake my head. No thanks. I'll be sitting over there. I point towards an empty bench near the entrance of our flight. She nods and begins to make her way to the store. I watch her leave and begin to unconsciously smile, seeing the way her ponytail swings side to side. She really is beautiful, I thought to myself. I was soon removed from my thoughts as my phone begins to ring. I look at the caller ID and begin to feel nervous, seeing Mom on my phone. With shaky hands, I begin to answer and lift it up to my ear. I gulp. Mom? I instantly sigh in relief at the sound of her voice, seeming to be calm. I make my way to the empty bench and flop down. Hi sweetie, are you at the airport now? I nod. Yup. Our flight leaves in an hour. That's good. Are you excited? I smile and flicker my eyes towards the store Jennie is in. Very, as if knowing what I meant, she softly laughs. I bet you are, seeing that you're arriving with a certain person, she teases. I feel my cheeks heat up and groan in annoyance. Mom, I drag out. I couldn't help but smile as my mom begins to laugh. She hasn't laughed like that since Dad entered the hospital. I'm just teasing, baby, I chuckle and shake my head. We remain silent for a moment, I sigh. How's Dad? I bite my lip, hearing the silence in the other end. She sighs. Hasn't woken up yet, but the doctor says he's finally responding to the medicine. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding and lean forward, resting my elbow on my thigh and placing my head on my free hand. I sigh. That's good. After a moment of silence, I sigh. I miss him, Mom. I suddenly feel a presence beside me and a sweet scent invading my nose, making me suddenly feel at ease. She sighs sadly. I miss him too, baby. I quickly wipe a tear that suddenly fell from my cheek. Feeling a pair of worried cat eyes on me instantly reminds me that I wasn't alone and that I was in public. I sit up straight and clear my throat. I'll call you when we land. I hear my mom sigh. Okay, have a safe flight. I love you, sadly smile and nod. I love you too, Mom.
Bye. Bye.
I end the call and instantly sigh and place my head in my hands. Are you okay? I hear Jennie carefully ask while placing her soft hand on my back, rubbing it in soothing circles. The warmth and gentleness of her touch causes my body to soften as I sigh in content. I lift my face from my hands and turn my gaze to her. I smile softly. I'm better now. I chuckle, seeing a slight pink tinge begin to grow in her cheeks. She shyly gives me a small smile, but soon scowls at me when I begin to pinch her nose. Ah, could, I say while using my ego. She cringes and pushes my hands away, making it knock over all her gummy bears to the floor, causing her gasp. Yeah. She stares at the gummies in horror. I bit the inside of my cheek, trying to repress my laughter. She slowly turns her head and glares, seeing that I instantly failed at holding in my laughter. Just seeing her stare at me in horror as if I have murdered her puppy caused me to erupt in laughter. I lean forward, laughing so hard that my stomach was starting to hurt. I can tell Jennie was also trying not to laugh. Jennie pouts. It's not funny. I shut my lips tight and nod. You're right, I said seriously. The look of seriousness causes Jennie to break out in a fit of laughter. With that sight, I instantly join her. People started giving us strange looks, but we didn't care. For a whole hour of waiting for a flight to be ready, all we did was laugh and joke around like before. It was like the whole drama before never existed. It was as if everything was back to normal. I turn my gaze towards a giggling Jennie and begin to smile wide. Well, almost everything.
Ugh.
Finally. I tiredly groan, begin to stretch my limbs. After being in an airplane for 5 hours, we finally arrived to Thailand. I lazily exit the airport with Jennie, but excitement soon surges through my body, at the sight of my mother excitedly waving her hands. Lalisa. I quickly drop all my things and run towards my mother, leaving Jennie to struggle with the rest of our bags. Mommy. I quickly embrace her tightly, refusing to let go and not bothering to wipe the tears that have cascaded down my cheeks. I missed you, I whisper. She tightens her arms around me and lovingly whispers back. I missed you too, baby. She pulls away and grabs my cheeks and scans my features while wiping the tears off my face. You get more beautiful each day, I smile wide. It's been so long since I last saw her. I feel my heart ache slightly, remembering the reason why I'm back home. I frown. I wish we reunited in better circumstances, I sadly say. She sadly smiles and nods. She leans up and kisses my forehead. She pulls away and meets my eyes. Either way, I'm happy you're here, she replies. I furrow my eyebrows in confusion, seeing her eyes flicker behind me. She suddenly smirks. Shouldn't you be helping your Nini, she teases. I follow her gaze and chuckle at the sight of Jennie struggling in carrying all our bags. I quickly run up to her and smile apologetically. Sorry, she shakes her and chuckles. Don't worry about it, I would have done the same thing. I smile and begin to carry my bags. I look at her. Let's go. She nods, excitement visible in her eyes to see my mother. We quickly walk towards my mother, who was smiling brightly at us. Hi sweetie, she says while embracing Jennie tightly. The sight of my mother embracing Jennie was beautiful. It gave me a light feeling in my chest, knowing they also shared a wonderful bond. They pull away and my mom smiles lovingly towards her. Thank you for being here, I really appreciate. Jennie smiles her gummy smile and nods. Of course. I'm really happy to be here, my heart flutters as her eyes flickered my way as she said those words. My mother smirks knowingly towards us. My Lisa must be really happy as well, I instantly feel my cheeks heating up. I clear my throat and begin to walk away. Why, yeah. Let's go. I roll my eyes at the sound of their teasing laughters following behind. Aish, this is going to be a long week. I'm home. Entering my home, I felt as if I have disconnected from my other world. The world that consisted of perfection, pressure, heartaches, and exhaustion. Don't misunderstand me, I feel absolutely blessed to be in that life, being able to do something that I love is amazing. However, there are days where I craved for freedom and space. There are times where I would desire to be relieved from stress that I have recently been constantly feeling. So, standing here in the middle of my bedroom, smiling to myself as every memory I had began to appear in my mind when I was a child, grew a wonderful feeling in my heart. Scanning my bedroom, I begin to chuckle at the sight of my old stuffed toys laid out on my light pink bedsheet. I am home. I was soon cut off from my thoughts at the sound of a light knock behind my door. Yes, hearing the door open, instantly turn my head and smile as Jennie peeks her head out smiling shyly towards me. Can I come in? She asks. I nod and furrow my eyebrows, confused as to why she was avoiding my eyes as she was entering my room. She closes the door and begins to rub her arm nervously. Your mom says that I should sleep here, my eyes widen. What? Noticing my silence, she immediately looks up nervously. She said that the guest room is packed with boxes of your old stuff and refused to let me sleep on the couch. I feel my cheeks begin to heat up. I internally scowl towards my mother, knowing she had this planned out. I avert my eyes to the floor. Oh, okay, I stutter out. We begin to shift uncomfortably in her stance as the awkward silence slowly seeps in. I clear my throat. Do you prefer a specific side to sleep on? I ask, mentally face-palming myself at how pathetic I sounded. Jennie awkwardly replies back. No, I nod nervously. Damn it, Mom. I look up at Jennie, hearing how she started to walk around my room, curiously looking around. I sigh in relief as the tension vanished at the sound of Jennie's light chuckle. I follow her gaze and immediately blush. She was observing a picture with me and my parents. It was taken the day I was leaving for the airport. I was holding them tightly while sobbing, snot was literally dripping out of nose. Cute, she mutters out. I scoff. Shut up, she laughs and continues to scan my room. She stops and faces me, leaning her back against my desk. You have a nice room, I smile brightly. Thanks, I'm actually surprised that it looks the same. She smiles. She turns her head to the bed and giggles. Nice, she motions towards the multiple cat stuffed animals on my bed. Can't help it. I love cats. I said smugly. Jennie shakes her head. Why do you love cats so much? She curiously asks. And without missing a beat, I stare into her eyes and seriously say. I love their eyes. I see her eyes widen slightly and her cheeks to slightly redden knowingly. I don't know what came over me, maybe it was the comfort of being in my home, or the way Jennie was innocently staring at me, but I suddenly felt brave. Without breaking eye contact, I slowly began to make my way towards Jennie. She gulps nervously. Why? She stutters out. I shrug. I don't know. I place both of my hands on the desk behind her, trapping her in between them. I lean towards her face, welcoming her sweet scent that was clouding my mind. I continue to stare into her eyes. There's something about their eyes that I find so intriguing. I whisper. I see her shiver slightly as my warm breath hits her plump lips. I flicker my eyes to her lips. You know your eyes resemble cat eyes. Her breath hitches as I begin to slowly press my body against hers.
Yeah,
she whispers back. I feel my body go warm as I felt her minty breath hit my lips. I gaze back into her eyes. She gulps nervously, seeing the look of hunger in my eyes. She bites her lip, holding in a moan perhaps, as I press my body harder against her.
Yeah.
I flicker my eyes to her lips once. Again and begin to lean in. Jen, I was cut off by my wonderful mother calling us from the kitchen. Girls. Dinner is ready. With that, I was instantly pulled back into reality. I quickly jump back, away from Jennie, breathing heavily. I look up at her, seeing her holding her chest, breathing heavily with flushed cheeks. She looks up at me and I feel my heart thump wildly against my chest, seeing a flicker of lust in her eyes. My eyes begin to darken at the sight, but hearing my mother call us again, I quickly shake off the feeling and awkwardly ask. Let's go. Jennie nods.
Yeah.
She says breathlessly. We make our way to the kitchen, not uttering a single word. My mom turns around, hearing us entering the kitchen. You girls hungry? She innocently asks. Without thinking, I turn my gaze at Jennie, who begins to blush furiously at my words. Starving. Okay, Lisa, breath, you can do this, you have to control yourself. After dinner, everything seemed to go back to normal. It was like the incident in my bedroom never happened. I truly missed my mother's cooking, and it seemed like Jennie enjoyed it too, seeing how she devoured almost everything. After we were done eating, Jennie decided to take a shower, leaving me alone in my room. I flopped myself on my bed, and as the silence took over, so did my racing thoughts. The memory of the incident instantly resurfaced in my mind. The image of the cat-eyed beauty, staring at me with so much intensity, causes my cheeks to heat up and my heart to beat wildly. What is happening? I turned my head to the other side of my bed and began to imagine Jennie laying there beside me, smiling fondly towards me. With wide eyes, I quickly grab my pillow and place it on my face. I begin to scream in frustration into it, trying to muffle the sound. I removed the pillow and began to breathe heavily. This shouldn't be an issue, we used to sleep beside each other all the time, why is this any different?